My name is Alexandra Kovats. I'm a Roman Catholic. I'm actually a sister of many years, and presently I live in Seattle, and that's my primary base of offering spiritual direction, but I have done it in Canada and in California. I've been in different places, and so it's been, and even I want to say internationally. Yes. I am an adjunct professor of spirituality at Seattle University at the School of Theology and Ministry, and we do have a track where we train spiritual directors. Yeah. I think I'd like to use an image of waking up, and Matilda of Magdeburg, one of the wisdom people in the Middle Ages, has a saying that encompasses for me the invitation to spiritual direction. She says, "The day of my spiritual awakening was the day I saw and knew that I saw God in all things and all things in God." And I think spiritual direction for me is not only experiencing the presence of God and discovering how it is present everywhere, but to recognize it, and the spiritual director invites that recognition. I think anyone who really has a desire to deepen their life and the meaning in their life, especially as it relates to the one we call God or Allah or the divine. For me, all you have to have is a desire to grow. And then part of my experience of being spiritual companion to others, I prefer that language, is to help them discover in terms of who they are, where they are, what their desire is, that what might be ways that support them in growing in their God relationship and their spiritual awareness. I think the first thing I do is invite them to look at their life and see what might be some places where they have a sense of peace or a sense of connecting with a larger reality than themselves, and maybe explore how that might be already a way that they are in touch, but they're not naming it that way. I'm a sister of St. Joseph of Peace, and peace is absolutely a grounding or a foundation of my own spirituality. And I believe that we need to grow in peace within ourselves, and then that peace will permeate whatever we do and wherever we are. And I find that to be at peace, it's a challenge in our world today because there are so many things that go against it. But that invitation to inner peace and let go of the inner violence hopefully will be expanded into how I relate and who I am. Wow. You are touching right to the heart of my commitment, because I have a passion about ecological spirituality. And what I find is that if I recognize that I am loved and I'm a unique blessing in the world among all these other blessings, then in order for me to express how I've been loved will be in relationship to others, both in terms of other human beings, but also the larger reality, the web of life. So to me, the more I know I am loved and accepted in my fullness, both my gifts and my limitations, the more I am able to hopefully express that and evoke that in my other relationships. And so for me, justice is not about doing justice work, which is important, but I need to become justice in order that justice can be more and more fully realized. That's a question. I want to say that we have not acknowledged spiritual directors that do not need training, and namely gifts of creation, animals and plants who are our ancestors. And I think that a lot of younger people, whether we are talking about 20-something or the Gen X generation, or find their spirituality very much in that context, and to have maybe human one-on-one encounters or even group. I sense that one-on-one encounter often is a luxury for us. We become so individualistic. So there is more and more invitation to move into group spiritual direction, where we facilitate the process rather than the spiritual director becomes the expert, so to speak. And so what I find is that I think that already there is spiritual direction going on, but it's not being named that way. And I want to say that because I'm one of those people who became a spiritual director because before there were any training programs. It's been just evoked, and so I certainly have done a lot of work to engage with that, but it was a call that I responded to, and I didn't even call it that way in the beginning. So I think that those dynamics are going on both in terms of creation, also in terms of peer groups sometimes when there is an expression of searching and longing for meaning and supporting one another. So I'm not too sure if I'm answering the next generation, but I think it's the younger people who have lost a sense of hope because of the kind of world that we have allowed to have around us, or that we have created in a rather destructive way.